Well, I think what the public should know, and what I presume, is that Ms. O'Malley must have received word about this press conference today, and that we were at a point where we felt compelled to reveal to the public the kind of complicity in this office to prosecutorial misconduct. What the public should know is that this is a sign, apparently, that we must be getting close to uncovering the role that Ms. O'Malley played as the former leader of this office when this prosecutorial misconduct actually was taking place. As I've outlined in connection with these cases, the prosecutorial misconduct by former Alameda County prosecutors in this office knew no bounds. One person became a sitting judge, and we may be getting close to learning that the district attorney of this office was more actively involved. We know from the grand jury report of 2022-2023 that the grand jury in Alameda County specifically found that last year that at least 25 members of this office illegally used the county's resources in 2018 to campaign for Ms. O'Malley, and that when she learned about that misconduct, she took no action, and the staff did not face any questions. That's in this grand jury report. I also know that the media previously reported that in December of 2022, when we were preparing to come into this office, that Ms. O'Malley attempted to divert $20 million from this office to her own private corporation, the Family Justice Center, Inc. And when I asked her specifically on December 23rd, 2022, for the details of why the county of Alameda would transfer $20 million to a private nonprofit that she was the sole shareholder of, she did not respond to that. Fortunately, we were able to intercept that and get the Board of Supervisors to rescind their anticipated approval of that. We also learned after Ms. O'Malley was gone that she received a $100,000 grant from Kaiser Foundation, which went to that same nonprofit, and she received that money using the county's name and resources. And in October of 2023, we finally were able to confirm to Kaiser to get them to believe that we did not have any of that money and that they needed to go to Ms. O'Malley to recover that $100,000. I understand that there was a reference to the HEAT program, which when we came to this office, there were 3 people assigned to that unit. One of them was a young woman in her early 20s with a high school diploma who was working remotely, living at home with her mother, reporting to work to her mother in this office, and making close to $100,000 plus benefits. We eliminated that position. We disbanded the HEAT unit because it was dysfunctional, and the HEART team, which many of my employees are part of, approximately 20 people in this office, is an inter-office working group of dedicated employees who are committed to combating human trafficking. And we continue to be the 3rd largest hub in the country of human trafficking, despite all of the so-called efforts of my predecessor. I'm told that she said there was a transition, that I refused to meet with her. There was no transition. And people have heard me speak about this over the last 18 months. She made us wait 3 weeks. She only met with me on December the 12th for 2.5 hours. She did not provide the documents that we requested on November 22nd until December 29th, more than a month after we requested them. So there's much, much more that I could share about the tenure and the transition that we experienced with the former DA. What the public should know is that Nancy O'Malley represents the last desperate attempt to go back to a time when police officers, police unions controlled this office. I'm sure she did not talk about the $21 million verdict, record-breaking verdict in the Elena Mondragon case, which that case went to a civil trial after my predecessor received $10,000 contribution from the Fremont Police Officers Association while she was supposedly investigating them for killing this 16-year-old child. And a jury awarded her family $21 million. And so there was a time when the appointed district attorneys did not work on behalf of the police unions and did not fulfill their duties on behalf of the people of Alameda County. Those days are over. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Two questions. One, to follow up on the issue of the jurors. Do you have any documentation, emails, any kind of records that show that the former district attorney knew about this? You say that she was in charge, but do you have any evidence or documents of that?
To the extent that there are documents, they've been provided to the Commission on Judicial Performance. So I can't specifically speak to what the other documents are. We've referred the public to the notes, and the public should know that the notes exist. And I don't, my understanding. I'm sorry, you're asking about emails at a time that I don't know that any of us were really using emails. So,
yeah. Evidence,
yes,
evidence.
I do.
Do you have any evidence that the former district attorney saw these?
That she saw these notes? Not at this time.
And then the second follow-up from her news conference, she said that she had kind of a well-oiled system of getting grant money to help supplement and support some of the programs within the district's attorney's office to support victims, and basically accused you of firing the grant writer, allowing these robust programs to just basically wither and fall away. What is your response to her on that?
So the assertion is that we don't have a grant writer and we're not getting grants because since she left,
funding to support some of the programs to help victims.
We routinely receive large grants from the state of California, and those documents are publicly available. We have to, I think we just yesterday submitted 2 or 3 board letters because our request for receiving the grants goes through the Board of Supervisors. So those documents are publicly available. We just received a $6 million grant on behalf of the CARES Navigation Center, which is the largest grant that this office has ever received. We received the $2 million grant from the governor's office for the organized retail theft program, which was at the top of the list of grants that were awarded to district attorneys in the state. So the public information, the information available to the public to dispute that allegation is readily available. If you would like a list, I can have my grant writer. We have a grant person who has done an excellent job. Her name is Amanda Thomas, and we can have her prepare a list of all the grants that she has successfully applied for and received over the last year. Not a problem. Yes, go ahead.
Chief Price, you ran on a platform of restorative justice.
I can't hear you.
You ran on a platform of restorative justice.
Yes.
Nancy O'Malley earlier today was saying that her office had many programs like that. One such was CARES, Community Assessment, Referral and Engagement. She said that she admitted some ran out of funding, but a lot of them were canceled because you didn't want them because they were programs that she started. Can you respond to that?
I have no idea what she's talking about other than the CARES Navigation Center is the program that we rescued in 2023 from some very significant issues around how it was being managed. We got a new provider. We have a new partner, the Uncuffed Project, as well as the Market Street Seventh-day Adventist Church. CARES Navigation Center is open. We added a mobile component, and we got a $6 million grant recently to support that work. As I indicated, I did disband the HEAP program because it was dysfunctional. I'm not sure what other program she's referring to. We have a robust menu. Oh, you referred to restorative justice. One of the tragedies that we found was that there was not any real commitment to restorative justice in this office before we arrived. I hired Senior Assistant District Attorney Damaris Evans, who is an internationally recognized purveyor or developer of restorative justice programs. She has 30 years experience, for those who think that we didn't hire experienced lawyers, and she developed a restorative justice program in the city and county of San Francisco's district attorney's office as well as other programs. One of the great tragedies that we found, for example, was in the Jen Angel case. That some may recall that Jen Angel was tragically killed in a failed or botched robbery, and her family desperately, her partner and her community asked us for a restorative justice option. It did not exist at that time, but under Ms. Evans' leadership, we have been working with the community, with her partner, with the defense counsel, and we're developing that. Some may remember the case of Pak Ho, who was an elderly Asian man who was tragically killed in a robbery in Alameda County prior to my administration. His daughters, 2 daughters, asked us they asked this office, Ms. O'Malley's administration, for a restorative justice option. They were told that it did not exist. It was only at the time of trial, when they came to Alameda County to participate in and observe the trial of their father's killers, that they discovered that Ms. Evans was in place, that I was the new district attorney, and they came to us and said, do you have a restorative justice option? We did not have one at that time because we were still developing it, as we are. But it was shameful that that family, 2 sisters, whose father was tragically killed, they wanted a restorative justice option, and it was not provided to them. One of those sisters currently serves on my Victims Advisory Commission.
So it sounds like, in terms of this back and forth between you and O'Malley, O'Malley is saying you're incompetent running the place into the ground, and you're saying that her tenure in this office was one of corruption. That sounds like what you're saying. Is that fair to say?
I don't believe that there's been a back and forth between Ms. O'Malley and I. I mean, I understood that Ms. O'Malley was supporting the recall many months ago. She's donated. There's no public secret that my predecessor was not helpful to us in our transition, and that she had a candidate that she campaigned very hard for, her hand-picked successor, and he lost. We defeated him in the November 2022 election. So to the extent that Ms. O'Malley is upset that her candidate lost, I think what would serve the public and the people of Alameda County is that the people who lost that election should stop trying to push us back and overturn the election. I am not here to go back and forth with Ms. O'Malley. I have not spent most of my tenure in this position telling the public all the dirty laundry and the messes that we have been fixing from day one. Many contracts, there is so much more that I could have revealed in the first 6 months. We did a 75-day report, and we talked about some of the challenges that we found. But we didn't talk about and spend our time talking about what was wrong. We spent our time fixing it. We're still fixing it. That is what I was elected to do, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what we have been doing. There are so many people in this office that have done a great job over the last 2 years, really working to repair the harm and address the misconduct, whether you call it corruption or, for me, prosecutorial misconduct. You can say that's a form of corruption. But there are so many people in this office that have been working to repair what we found, and they've done a great job. And so I think that people should give credit to the people in this office and not credit to someone who has an axe to grind and wants to tear us down. All right.